Hello and welcome.
Hello, everybody. It is, what's the date today? Monday, April 17th. I always forget what the date is, especially after like a holiday weekend, because it felt like we had two Saturdays, Friday and then the real Saturday. So I'm sitting here on the Mark Maryland podcast show, also known as the Mark Show, sitting in the heart of Roncesvalles Village. And my guest today is singer-songwriter, storyteller, Arthur Renwick. Arthur Renwick plays harmonica and bottleneck slide on a dobro accompanied with a stomp. Renwick has performed his original music in festivals and venues across Canada and Europe. And he joins us here today. Hello, Arthur.
Hey, how you doing, Mark?
Excellent. I am very well. So we're still kind of figuring out the technical sort of aspect of the show, so I'm kind of distracted. I'm watching two computer screens. One is the actual, the show that we're taping, so there's a bunch of like audio stuff. And the other one is people send in questions via the internet, via the Mark Maryland podcast show page. So we have a couple questions some people have sent in. Someone has sent one. Well, we'll get to those down the road. So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I know when you first came in, you said you were kind of tired. Did you have a show last night?
I actually went to see a movie with my girlfriend Dawn, and it got out at about 11:30, and then across the street from the Review Cinema, an old friend of mine, Michael Keith, was playing at Gate 403, so I went to pay him a visit.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it was good. He's a very funny man. He does a lot of comedy stand-up in between his songs.
Oh, okay.
So it's entertaining.
Okay. And I'm not totally familiar with his music. What kind of music is it?
He's mostly a sideman.
Okay.
He's played like for everybody. Like he used to be second in line for Kevin Bright back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Through the 90s and early 2000s.
Oh, right.
And
so he's quite proficient on his.
I would say
instruments, right?
highly proficient. Yeah.
Right. And yourself, you've been busy. I noticed you had a lot of shows the last couple of days, including one at a barber shop.
Yes, that's right. Rod Gun and Barber. It's down in. They have the first one was up in the Junction. They first built it up on with the idea of just having a barber shop for sort of the hipsters up there. And they decided to start selling alcohol, and they managed to get a license for it. And with the alcohol, people always want to hear live music, and a lot of the barbers are really into live music.
Right.
So they started bringing their friends in to perform.
Oh, great.
And it took off. Like they had radio spots, and television was focusing on it, and they got a lot of attention. So one of the guys that worked out of there decided to start up his own in his own neighborhood. He's got a brand new baby, and he's been on the music scene for many, many years. Chris Schweitzer and Dano, I can't pronounce his last name.
Oh, okay.
You might know Dano. Like they're both sort of, you recognize them when you see them on the scene because they both have 50s style haircuts and lots of tattoos and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, Chris started his up down in Parkdale, and he asked me if I wanted to sort of do a regular slot there, like once a month or something. I said, sure. It's fun. Why not a barbershop?
Oh, that's cool. There's a lot of, I think, new venues coming sort of on the scene that you don't traditionally think as venues, because you have a lot of venues closing, like, Hughes Room just up the street closed. And now you see these alternative sort of spaces opening up and programming music, which is great. I think it gets a whole sort of new audience out there. They have like a PA system set up there too?
It's just basically a bass amp with an amp on top of it, right, and a microphone.
Okay.
And then I bring my own amp and I plug it in. I've got my stomp that goes through this big bass amp, and the vocals go through the bass amp and the guitar. And it's enough to fill the space. You don't need a big production about it. And there's a pool table in the back, and it doesn't really interfere with the noise or the music.
Okay, right.
And so it's like not a huge venue, but it's actually a really beautiful, intimate venue.
So how many people fit in there roughly, would you say?
It's probably more than Not My Dog did.
Okay.
And that was
Not My Dog was small. I love that place, and it's so sad to see that go.
Yeah, that place is about 75 capacity.
Oh, really? Okay.
What's fun about this thing is that they set it up so that you can actually sit in the barber chairs and and watch the show, and they're like the old classic barber chairs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Really comfortable.
It's been a long time since I've been in a barber chair, as you can see, Arthur. I don't have any hair, nor can I grow a beard. I can't grow a beard as luxurious as yours, I can see.
This is
sitting
getting a little bit
across from me here.
scraggly. It's true. It's that Scottish blood in my ancestry.
Do you plan on shaving when summer comes around, or does that
Yeah,
get hot? Or
I was wanting to do it on Saturday, but they stopped cutting at 8, and I didn't have to start the music till 9:30. So I thought, I don't want to hang out here that long and
right,
with a clean face.
with a clean face, of course. And also, feel free to help yourself to. We have complimentary Easter treats, chocolates
Ooh, I
in
can
that
see
bowl
that.
there.
Those colorful balls.
That's
over there.
right. I think they're called eggs.
Eggs.
But yes, you can call them whatever you wish. So you have a show coming up then this week. You have a couple of shows.
There's a couple of shows, yeah, just around the corner from us, right up the street here. There's a place called Gate 403. I've got a matinee from 5 to 8.
Okay, when's that?
Tomorrow.
Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday. And that's the 19th, April 19th. And then that show goes...
Tomorrow's the 18th.
Tomorrow's the 18th?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tuesday
okay.
the April.
Tuesday
Is that
the
when you
18th.
have the show? Is it Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday the 18th.
Okay.
And what's funny is that it's kind of like this overlapping of things are just kind of happening in my life right now. Anyhow, I got booked to perform at the Red Review on Tuesday as well.
That's right. That's happening at the Transact Club at 292 Brunswick Avenue.
Yeah, and I looked at the schedule and I realized I thought it was going to be a late show, but she's got me on at 7:30.
Well, it is from 7 p.m. That's when the doors open until 2 a.m. But yeah, I do see that you're scheduled here at 7:30.
Yeah, so the other one finishes at 8.
Right.
So I'll be ducking out of the gate. I already let them know I'm just going to play for about an hour and a half.
Okay.
At the gate, and then
Right.
just hop in a taxi and head straight over there.
And head
jump
straight
on the
over there.
stage.
That is very busy. And then do you have a third show that night, or?
I do.
Oh, do you? Where's
Yeah,
that at?
in my bed.
In your bed. Okay. All right. Are you selling tickets to that? Can we buy online at like Ticketmaster?
No, it's a private show. Special
okay.
guests only.
Oh, I see. Can I come? I have a press pass. Would I be allowed to tape that show? Great. So you've been playing around a lot, and previously, and I guess you still are, a visual artist as well.
Yeah.
How was that change? How did you make that change from visual arts to now sort of?
Well, that's
the
actually
audio
a
arts,
very
we'll
good
call it?
question. Like a lot of my musician
Well, that's
friends
why I asked.
don't even know that I have an artistic background and that I was actually a professor and a curator for many years.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, I worked at the power plant way back in the 1900s, in 1994. And yeah, it's just something I've always done. I did my undergrad at Emily Carr in Vancouver in the late 80s and then moved to Montreal in 1990 during the Oka crisis. Got involved with that, got arrested, and saw the whole court case and everything. I was friends with a lot of the people that were in behind the barriers. But while I was doing that, I was doing my grad studies. And,
Right. And from that experience, did that create a lot of creative works?
It did. Right after I graduated, a job came up at the power plant in Toronto, and they wanted a curatorial intern who was Aboriginal to work at the gallery. And it's a huge opportunity because it's an affiliate of the Art Gallery of Ontario.
Right.
And they even take exhibitions from the National Gallery, so it was like stepping up onto the bigger platform out of nowhere. I curated a show of Faye Heavyshield's work. She's based out of Calgary. She's a Blackfoot from Standoff Reserve. Curated a show of her work, and then from there moved to Ottawa, did my worked at the Museum of Civilization with Gerald McMaster and curated a big blockbuster exhibition called Reservation X. And then from there decided that being an administrator for visual art didn't leave much time for the things that I wanted to do, including making art and making music. So I thought, what's the next best gig to that? And I thought, well, teaching is a good one. I have good experience. I could teach. So I started off working at a couple of places. One of them was up in Elliott Lake. They hired me on to help build a new art school up there.
Oh, what's the name of the art school?
White Mountain Academy.
Right, okay, right.
Yeah. So I was there in the developing stages, and I worked there for the first 2 years. When I left, it was a full 4-year program. And then after I was gone, it all went dismally downhill and disappeared, which is kind of weird. It's really sad. But we had a great experience. We had quite a few students graduate from that program. And some of them have carried on to do their own thing, and they're doing really well at it.
And why do you think the program failed?
Well, it's politics I wasn't involved in, so
okay,
I don't know.
Right.
Hear rumors, but I mean, I can't really say secondhand
Right.
information.
So
on
when
them.
did you first make that change or that leap to investing more of your time and I guess money into the the music side of creation?
Well, the thing was, the National Gallery of Canada purchased 12 of my artworks, and all of a sudden I had this huge influx of cash. It was like this large amount of money. I thought, what am I going to do with this? I thought, yeah, I should make an album. I haven't. I mean, I've got all these songs I've written. I should bloody well do it.
Oh, you should have talked to me. I had some swampland. I could have sold you.
So I got it, and it did really well. Like I worked on it with Ken Whiteley, and I let him sort of produce the whole thing. I was new into it, and I mean, I'd always done side stuff, sideman stuff, played with everybody else,
Right.
but I'd never stretched my neck out and done it on my own with my name, and realizing as soon as you put your name on something, it becomes a brand. Stuff like that kind of made me uncomfortable. I didn't like that kind of attention.
And I love the name of that record. Tell the listeners the name of your first record.
Cigar Box Chronicles.
And how did that name come
It
about?
was based on a friend of mine out of Montreal builds cigar box guitars, and we chatted online and stuff, and I commissioned one. I asked him to build me one. And I
Now,
did.
for listeners that don't know what a cigar box guitar is,
It's literally a guitar made from a cigar box.
from a cigar box. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's wood?
It's like a little small cedar wooden box, and they wire it up. It's got pickups. It's fully wired for
okay.
an
Right,
amplifier.
right.
And this one, the first one, had tele pickups. It's a great tone, really, really great tone. I played that one for quite a while, but then on the inside, there was something that went, a wire broke, and he couldn't access it without ripping the whole thing apart and then putting it all back together, and it wouldn't have been worth it for him. So instead, he built a new one for me and did another custom one and gave me another one after that.
Oh, right. So you have two.
So
in
yeah,
your arsenal.
yeah. And it was kind of a fun project. All the songs, I used the cigar box guitar in all of the songs and brought in different guests. Raven from Digging Roots came in and played. Susie Vinnick did some backup vocals, and Carlos Del Junco played some harmonica.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So we did that, and it was, I launched it. It came out on the day of, it was a Robbie Robertson tribute down at Harbourfront Center. I was asked to open. Derek Miller was the house band, and my CD came out that day.
That's
So
right.
it was the first day.
I remember because
because
I put that show together.
there we go.
Which was a very challenging show to put together conceptually, but we'll talk about that another show.
Sure.
But, getting back to the cigar box, because that's got a kind of a unique sound. When I've seen you've played that, it sounds different from any other guitar. I guess it's the shape or the physics of the guitar that gives it that unique quality.
Yeah, the physics of it's the little box sort of creates a little resonation into the signal, and
Right.
it does have a certain tone that you don't hear from a solid block of wood from an electric guitar.
Right.
Or even a hollow body, because it's a different shape.
Right. And that the gentleman who makes the cigar box guitars, doesn't he have some famous clients as well?
He
I heard
does.
there was this band, you might have heard from them. They're from Ireland. Maybe you've heard from them. They're called U2.
No, never heard of them.
Right. Yeah, I know they're just breaking out new. I think here. I think they're going on tour here. So
Yeah.
The Edge, who's the guitar player in that Irish band, doesn't he have one of the?
He
cigar
does. He has one, and Bono was there as well. He showed up as well. I mean, the thing that really sent him off the deep end and got him noticed was that he made one for a friend, and it was the only one that he made. It was hanging up at this guy's wall in Montreal, and a guy saw it, and he happens to be a photographer, and he writes up little ads for a magazine you might have heard of called Playboy, and he saw that, and he
So
said,
it's called Playboy.
Playboy,
Oh,
yeah.
really? No, okay.
Yeah, it's all
I
about
haven't.
guitars.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, he saw that and he said, "Hey, man, would you like to make a living out of this?" And he said, "Out of what?" I said, "Making these guitars." And he said, "I'd never considered that." He said, "Well, what are you doing right now?" I said, "Well, I just graduated from art school. I'm a painter, and I'm working out of a warehouse." And he said, "Well, you could probably make a good living from this. Do you think that you could make at least 4 or 5 different models, get them photographed, and then send them to me? And I'll do a write-up on you in Playboy magazine." And the guy said, "I'd love to do that." So he did that. He created 5 of them, got them photographed professionally, sent them down. They did this big write-up on them. Beautiful spread.
Yes. Maybe a different choice of words there, Arthur. But anyways, continue. Yes.
Well, guitars, you
Yes.
know.
Right.
So he did that, and then next thing you know, the publication hits the stands, and this is back in the times of MySpace,
Right.
and it was pre-Facebook.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. The we call those the old days, or
The-
the dark ages. I think. Okay.
Way back, the 1900s. Well, it was actually after that. Anyhow, he did that, and he said as soon as it came out, he just got this flood. He got 350 requests immediately. And out of that, I think 50 were actual sales, and he built it up just enough, and it was just enough for him to quit his job and start up this business. And it's been going really well ever since. And since then, Playboy has actually commissioned him to make some special anniversary cigar box guitars with one of their pinup models
Right.
on them.
Right. Because it's interesting. Playboy, they don't even do nudes anymore. Any nude pictorials.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they got rid of that in the last year. So it's journalism.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
articles, which they always had great articles.
Well, that's what it was.
what
They always
It's
say.
the only reason why.
The only reason I buy it is for the articles.
That's right. Anyways, we digress. So getting back on music and, of course, your career, I'm just going to read some of the some questions that came through.
Sure.
This one is interesting. Dean asks, I'm not sure if you knew this. Let me just give you some background. In 2011, I believe it was, the Grammys had eliminated the Best Native American category, music category. And they lumped a bunch of different categories together. I believe they called it something like Best Regional Roots. So it encompasses a bunch of different, genres and sort of cultural backgrounds. So Dean asks, how has removing the Indigenous category at the Grammys impacted the levels of success an Indigenous artists can achieve? Now, I guess that could apply to anything for like Junos. I know a lot of people are in their career, they're striving for that greater goal. Sometimes the greater goal is winning an award, whether it's a Grammy or Juno, or sometimes that greater goal is selling, X number of records, or sometimes that greater goal is, hey, I want to put food on my table and continue doing what I love doing. So for you, what is, I guess, your greater goal, or does this sort of tie into your overall plans as a
I guess, I
musician?
don't know. Sometimes awards are like the kiss of death, you know. A lot of people, like I was talking to my friend Paul Reddick, he just won the best.
The Juno, right.
Yeah, he
That's
just
right.
won a Juno, and I said, "How are you doing?" He said, "Well, you know, I'm poor and I'm sad."
Poor and sad. There you go.
So I don't know, like it doesn't really equate to anything other than you can
Right.
sort of, as a tagline for whatever you're doing out there.
Well, it looks good on a resume too.
It's nice to have the peer recognition, absolutely.
Sure. But is it really peer recognition? I mean, who votes on these different awards?
Well, that's a mystery to me. I don't know. Maybe you've sat on a jury. I haven't. I've sat on a lot of juries at councils, like at art councils.
Sure.
But stuff like that, I think it's supposed to be sort of judged upon peer
Merit,
reviews and merit and everything. How they sit, like I've heard here and there. Oh yeah, I sat on that jury. That person really deserved it. Well, it's like you would hope they would deserve it every time. But I think it's hard to gauge like what is the best of, because it's kind of a silly category in some ways.
Right.
Although I would say on a larger level outside of the Junos, things like the Polar Awards and there's a few of them that are out there. Where
the Polaris Prize you're talking about?
Polaris, yeah. People like Tanya and
And Buffy and
yeah, and Tribe Called Red are sort of winning all these things outside of the Aboriginal label, which I think is amazing. I mean, that's the goal.
that's right.
That is the goal. I would rather win something out there and being recognized for the merit of my work than all of a sudden being lobbed into a large, an organization like the Junos or the Grammys and being given an award for being Aboriginal. I don't know. I really believe strongly in my culture. And my background, it plays a huge role in everything I do, every part of my life, every day, every minute. But in the end, as having had a successful art career, I believe that it's the art that's got to stand out on itself. And I don't take for granted any minute that I'm Aboriginal, but really, as a practicing artist in any medium, you want to get recognized for the medium that you're practicing in. I think, not so much the cultural background that you have.
Right.
I don't know.
So first and foremost, you look at yourself as you're a musician, you're an artist first, and then ethnicity, cultural sort of background kind of is a part of the framework that it maybe even influences, songs and subject matter that you write about.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily your driving force to create that art?
Because like if I were to, okay, I mean, this is directed towards the question directly towards me. How does an Aboriginal category in an award system, if I'm getting this right, does it limit you or not limit you? And I would say it does cause limitations.
Right.
Because I don't want to be known as an Aboriginal artist.
Right, you want to be pigeonholed or typecast, I guess. Right.
Like it just to me, it doesn't for what my idea of what being a musician is. I mean, I would really. I mean, I would if they offered me the award, I wouldn't say no. I would take it. And for a lot of musicians,
I would ask if there's any valuable medals on it first that I could, potentially sell. Hey, times are tough.
Are they made of glass now or plastic?
I don't know. There must be. Yeah, I guess they're plastic or.
I don't know.
If anyone out there has a Juno Award or a Grammy Award, please let us know. Bring it on the show and we can check it out.
But it's a good question. And it's debatable. Like some people would say yes, other people would say no, and I'm on that one side where I think it does create certain limitations. But I mean, if it's only one of a number of awards you get, I mean, Robbie Robertson has a Juno Award for Best Aboriginal category.
That's right.
And I'm sure he was really happy he got that. And I'm sure he really needed it for his career.
Maybe. Yeah, there was an article recently in Exclaim that was talking about whether these awards actually help people's careers. There is the initial, I guess, bump, of activity online because I think people, if they see your name nominated for something they're not familiar with your work, they'll go stream it. Like, what's this Arthur guy about? I'll go check out his music. And that bumps up your plays and potential sales.
Yeah.
But then after the awards are over, it's like, yeah, I know what that guy sounds like. And now they're kind of like on to something, whatever the next thing is.
Yeah, so who was it that won this year?
It was, I should know this. It is someone. Yeah, there you go.
Richard Prince. Isn't it Prince?
Which awards are we talking about now?
Aboriginal Juno.
No, it was the group. The female singing group. I just don't remember their name off. I'm looking it up right now. It is Quantum. Hold on a second.
So then, what category did he? Was it Roots category? There's a singer-songwriter that won. You see, this is how it plays its role.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's not that we're not interested. It's just like we're dealing with all of our own stuff. And when there's somebody that's new on the scene, I mean, he's become noticed because he won this award, and I'm curious to check it out. I want to see what he is and see how he performs and stuff. So it's.
I'm just looking it up now. The Juno website is terrible. And it's not very user friendly.
So yeah, it's I don't know, awards. We could focus on something else for a little while if you want.
Let's read another question. TM42 wants to know, what do you hope the audience leaves with when they leave an Arthur Renwick show, other than CDs, of course?
Well, what I've been told on a regular basis from people, like people will walk up to me. I just did I sat in with somebody down at the Cameron House the other night, and it was with Steve Mariner. He's a guitarist for Monkey Junk, singer for them as well, and he also was on Paul Reddick's band and won an award recently, and he hosted the Maple Blues Awards. Really interesting guy. Anyhow, he brought me up to join him and I brought my dobro and just really jammed some stuff out. He said, "This is just going to be a blues jam, man. So whatever you want to do." And I just rocked it out, and it was Glenn Milcham from Blue Rodeo was playing.
Oh yes, right.
And Chris Cadell from Colin James Band, and we jammed out, and it was just amazing, like this amazing jam. They were really skilled and they knew how to make it work, and we're just doing it on the fly, and they don't get to do that normally. So we did that, and afterwards when I was leaving, like all of these other musicians were there that I didn't know. They said, "Man, I just want to say thank you, man. Like I needed that." I said, "What did you need?" And they said, "Well, just some fresh, alive music. Like it felt so great. I felt alive just listening to it, and which is what live music is supposed to do. And you can't get that from any other source, really. You can't get it from listening to your headphones, your earbuds, a good stereo. Listening to live music, you really feel the moment. You really feel something when you're in the moment that you don't get from a canned recording. And so every time I do a live show, I try to make it unique and have the words sort of connect to the audience in some way where they'll walk away think about what it is they heard.
Because a great live show, there's that sort of symbiotic relationship between the artist, between yourself and the audience. You kind of feed off each other.
Yeah.
And a great show, then you're both exhausted by the end of the evening.
Basically, yeah. I mean, right now, it's sort of when I'm not doing any touring or anything, I like doing little local, sliding into little venues like the Rod Gun and Barber and just do a little solo show with, my stomp and the guitar and the harmonica and
so explain the stomp. I know we mentioned it a few times for people that don't know what it is.
A friend of mine from Northern Ontario built me this. It's basically a plank with a license plate on it. And when I came in, he said, "Hey, I sent you something," and I wanted to pull it out of the envelope. I looked at it, and I'm like, "What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Hang it on a wall?" It's an Ontario license plate. I'm from BC. This doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And I realized my hand was covering a 1/4-inch jack input. And when I saw that, I thought, "What?" So I plugged it in and started hitting it, and it made a thump sound. I thought,
so like a kick drum.
Basically,
right,
yeah.
Right, okay.
So basically, yeah, you plug it into the sound system, and then you hit it with your toe. And if you mix it in right, you could have a kick drum sound like John Bonham from Led Zeppelin.
Wow, because I've seen that you use that at various shows.
That's
and on
right.
big stages, when I saw you play at Revival, it sounded huge.
Yeah.
It was like a Bonham style kick drum. Just to note, it is Quantum Tangle, that one, Juno.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't remember the name. I'm terrible when it's like names that are, unusual, although I should have remembered that because Quantum Tangle, that's kind of like quantum entanglement to do with, quantum physics and stuff. That's another show, though.
Right.
So we only have a few minutes left. So how about we'd love it if you could do a song for us, maybe set up what song you're going to do.
All right. Yeah, this song is this one's meaningful to me because it's about a friend of mine from back home in Kitimat. We're about the same age. I'm 52 and he was the same age, and we paddled a canoe from Kitimat down to Bella Bella together with 12 other people, a big open dugout canoe. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal artist. Like he was really quite talented visually. He did a lot of West Coast stuff, and he would actually make designs and get them sandblasted onto mirrors and onto windows. Really innovative thinker. Anyhow, he decided it was time for him, and he just had enough time on Earth and decided to make his own exit, and it was his choice. A lot of people were shocked at his decision, but I could sort of understand. I mean, just when you've had enough, you've had enough, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people have opposing opinions, but knowing who he was and how thoughtful and considerate and kind he was, I think he just decided it was time and took the exit out. So I wrote this song about him. It's called Bumper Crop of Hurtin' Songs.
All right, and here it is.
All right. This is for Tommy. Well, I've never been so lonely, sleeping through most my days, wishing man for only I could change his evil ways. breathlessly watching. Precious time just slip away. Wishing this whole goddamn world would all just wash away. It don't seem to matter what people say or do anymore. Getting lost in beer and whiskey at the bar behind closed doors. Everyone I've tried to love has either died or moved on. All I ever seem to harvest are bumper crops of her songs. It don't seem to matter what people say or do anymore. Getting lost in beer and whiskey at the bar behind closed doors. Everyone I've tried to love has either died or moved on. All I ever seem to harvest bumper crops of her songs. All I ever seem to harvest are bumper crops of her songs.